welcome to the Inclusivity Unlocked, the podcast that's all about inclusion and diversity, brought to you by the Cessation Explorator. We are chatting with you right from our studio in Craiova, and together we'll make sure that tricky isms and complex terms from the world of inclusion become a part of your everyday life. Okay, it's time to unlock. And today I'm very thankful to have special guests, Kashaaf and Nic, in our podcast room. This is the short-term volunteers in Craiova, and we're recording this episode during the final days of your stage within the Go for Green project that was held by an terror organization and ran from July 17th to September 13th. And this project focused on sustainable development and ecological practices. And the main focus of yours, from what I know, was about building gardens and encouraging different green practices within the local community. And I would like to focus in this episode in two main topics. The first one is the personal experience, because EEC can be a big life changer and a big experience. And we will discuss a little bit why you choose this opportunity, questions like this. And at the second part of this episode, I would love to hear some of the insights, let's say, about the ecological practices that you developed. Okay, now it's time for me to be very quiet and give the stage to my special guests. So can you introduce yourself a little bit for our listeners?
This is Kashaaf, Shaheen, and I have represented Italy in this entire project. And my background is from Pakistan. So why I chose this project is after July or by the end of June, there were like vacations in my university. So everyone was like going to their home country. And when I asked my parents back in my home country, Pakistan, that I want to come and visit you, and they were like, no, Kashaaf, it's just like 1 year and you are there. You should not come to us right now. You should take some time to be stable there and then visit us. And I was like, okay, so that's a red flag from my parents now for not coming back. So I decided now what to do, what else can I do, because I don't want it to stay in Padova because it's a very small and it's actually a unicity where every student was going to their home country during the vacation period. Then I found out about from some Facebook groups that there are some European Solidarity Corps and opportunities like that. And I started off with the Erasmus Plus training course on social inclusion in Bulgaria. I applied for that. And just after that project, I got selected in this European Solidarity Corps project. Particularly, since I'm studying circular economy, I'm doing a master's in circular economy, so my more focus was to do some projects. Okay, it's good to have a project on social inclusion, but it's also necessary to do something on the circular economy part, on the environment part. So that's why I opted for this opportunity. I had a small interview with the host organization, and then I'm here.
Thank you. Beautiful story. Nic, your turn.
I will be brief. My name is Nic. I am originally from Kenya, but currently I reside in Poland, and I am one of the volunteers in the Go for Green 3 project, and I am happy to be here. I know we'll get deeper into the questions of how I ended up here and what are my motivations for being here, so I'll reserve that for later.
So what's your motivation? Let's discuss it straightforward.
Yes, so as Kashaaf said, I am also a student in Poland, and from July to September we have the summer vacation, and I wanted, of course, he said, people were doing different things, so you can either work, you can go back home, you can travel, depending on your interests and whatever you want to do. But for me, I wanted to do something more impactful, and so I went to search for some volunteer opportunities that I can participate in, and of course I stumbled upon the European Solidarity Corps, and applied actually to a couple of projects. I would be lying if I said that I only applied to this one and got selected, because most of them are quite competitive. So I was kind of like trying to spread my net wider. And
especially
luckily,
during summer, probably.
Yes.
I think that's the very hot season, and that's why also many training courses and youth exchanges happen at that time, because more people are free.
Exactly.
Yeah. And luckily, I was able to be selected for this project, and I really, and I said yes to it because it combined two of my interests, that is community engagement and environmental sustainability. And besides that, like just the experience of being in a new country, exploring different cultures and meeting different people was a bonus plus.
And how big is your group? Can you share maybe like people from which countries are working with you?
So it's a kind of very diverse group, and you can see people from Portugal, from Italy, from Czech Republic, from Georgia, as well as on the other hand, you can see people from like Jordan, Uzbekistan, who have a background from these countries. So yeah, it's a kind of very diverse group, and we have a total of, I think, 10 international volunteers, and we have some few local volunteers as well here. So it's a kind of a diverse group.
And I think now it's time to finally get to the topic of what you've been really doing here for those 2 months in Craiova.
Okay, so for the last 2 months, we have been working at the penitentiary. That is the main focus of the project. The main focus of the project was to help build a sustainable and therapeutic urban garden in a local penitentiary here in Craiova, and we have been working with some of the local volunteers who are incarcerated in the penitentiary to just help them build this garden. And so that is where our main focus has been. But besides that, we have also been engaging in community activities. We participated in a park cleanup activity once. We did some artistic t-shirts and sold them to be able to raise funds and buy supplies for some school children. And
volunteering festival, probably we can also mention, because it was a huge thing in Craiova. All associations gathered together in the beginning of August. I think it was 8th, 9th of August. Yeah. And you've been doing some quizzes from what I believe, and given plans to those who participated in your quiz.
Yeah, that was a fun thing. We prepared a lot of questions, and we asked the local people, can you just answer this? If you will answer these questions correctly, then you will get a pot, a plant from our side. And that was a fun thing.
Yeah, it was really fun.
And I believe the core focus of this entire Go for Green project was on the community engagement. If you see creating the garden inside a penitentiary, from that sense also, because there are people who are, I do not want to say disadvantaged group or something like that, but people with a fewer opportunities. Then creating this garden helped us to come together and work together. So that is something very important, which I also have learned from this project, like the community engagement, to engage with other people. And also on the other hand, if you look at the festival, as you said, it was also about the community engagement. You were engaging with the whole local community in Craiova. And also when we were selling the t-shirts, so it was for whom? It was for the local people, which we were selling it for the purpose of charity for a school in Balch. So I think the core focus of this project was on the community engagement through different ecological practices.
And just in case, I will mention that Balch is a city nearby Craiova as well, and you gave something to the local school, right? Supplies?
Yeah, exactly. So we sold the t-shirts to the local people in Craiova, and we told that this is solely for the purpose of charity. And on the very next day, we went to Balch. We bought some stationery items and some fun games like badminton and all, and some board games also, and just gifted to the students, and they were very happy receiving them. Those children, they were actually from an underprivileged background, so it was good to help those children with these kind of stuff.
Yes.
But coming back to the experience in penitentiary and working there, what challenges did you face? Because obviously it's not something what some people might consider doing during their summer vacation in university. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you hear about penitentiary and working in the penitentiary, like many people would really be afraid, and would kind of like get mixed feelings about it. And that is something that I also receive when I talk to people and tell them about the project and what we are doing. But looking back, I think it has actually been a really good experience. Generally, we have not had a lot of issues. We have been taken good care of, by the people. We have really met like really good people that we are working with. Some of the challenges that I would say probably are first, the language barrier. What we noticed is most of the volunteers that we were working with didn't understand English or were not fluent in English, and it was very difficult to communicate with them and sometimes to like coordinate with them, while we were working, because we were working together. But thankfully we had at least one or two who could speak in English. Some of them not as fluent, but at least could understand a word or two. And sometimes you could just like use actions and gestures to be able to pass your point across. And also another thing that helped us is we had some people in our group who were fluent in Romanian, and that helped us to be able to bridge that gap. Besides that, I would also say the weather. It was really
something
hot.
I was about to say as well, the weather.
Yeah. And maybe Kashaaf can talk more about it.
Yeah. So like a few days we had rain early in the morning, and we were like being texted on WhatsApp group like today we can't go there because of the weather conditions, climate change.
And you needed to dig basically for a long period of time. I mean, building garden is probably not feng shui stuff. It doesn't mean that you're just bringing small rocks. I don't know. It seemed like a very hard work.
And as you mentioned, like digging stuff, so that was something which was a kind of challenging for me, because I didn't know actually the gardening stuff in that much detail, because we use the shovels, we dig everything, we planted the seeds. So it was something which was quite new for me and challenging for me, but trust me, when everyone was together helping us out, it was a good learning experience, and we adapt to it like instantaneously, and then it was all fun.
Yeah.
And at the end of the project, is it ready now, or what is the stage of the garden building?
Okay, so it's almost ready. We just need to put the grass on it, otherwise it's all ready. And when I see physically the garden right now, actually I want to mention one thing, that in the beginning of this project we were asked to plan a layout. How would you like to see this garden to look at the end? And everyone did their own homework, and fortunately I was fortunate enough that my layout was being approved to be done there. And when I see that garden right now, it's actually more or less the same thing which I had in my layout. So that's something which is very, close to my heart.
Yeah. And I remember in the beginning you also did a very nice logo of the project.
Yeah.
We will put it here somewhere. it will be somewhere here. What was the most memorable part of the project for you?
I think for me the most memorable part of the project is it's basically like working in the penitentiary, just being in that space and connecting with like people who have been incarcerated, and working with them together to like build something. I think it was a really a good experience that not many people can talk about. But besides that, I think just hanging out with the other volunteers, most of the time we were always going out, like hanging out and just like sharing like a meal or a drink or stories, and it was really good. Kashaaf?
Yeah, more or less the same, but I want to add like one or two things to it. One was when we did boating together inside the Romanesque Park.
Yeah.
That was actually memorable for me.
Mm.
And also the event regarding the selling of T-shirts, because during that event we as a group we try to find out like we have some salesperson skills in ourselves actually. So yeah, it was, we actually sold like 10 t-shirts within like less than an hour. So it was all because of the group work. And yeah, I analyzed that I have some like salesman skills in myself. So it was also
Did you write it in your
youth?
youth pass?
Definitely, I'm gonna write it on my youth pass for sure.
It was actually a surprise
Yeah.
because I don't think many people expected us to sell all the t-shirts.
Yeah.
I think when we had that idea of selling the t-shirts and then...
we also had, I'm sorry, but we also had a target of selling at least like you have to sold at least 5 t-shirts, but we did
all of them,
yeah.
and even got like more money than...
But you
we had
designed
expected.
those t-shirts yourself. I mean, you've been coloring the pattern and...
We have been preparing the t-shirts for like 2 weeks
Wow.
inside the youth center, and
Yeah.
it was
It was
fun, it
really,
was
really
creative.
You had a chance to talk with yourself or with another young volunteer who is going to the project. What tips and tricks would you teach this person?
So for me, I would say be open-minded and be flexible, because you don't know what you're going to expect. You don't know what people or the people that you're going to work with, where they're going to come from, and which background and which cultures.
So just like he's saying, I would add like to be respectful first of all, because it's a very diverse kind of project where people not only from different countries but also from different religions are staying together in an apartment. So it's important to respect others' privacy. For example, if you have some person who belongs to like who's a Muslim, so he or she is going to pray like 5 times a day, so you need to respect his or her privacy while you are living in that same room or same apartment. Also the sleeping habits, someone sleeps early, someone sleeps late, so it's not good to have people in your apartment late at night and making noises and all. So being respectful is also a good thing, which I would advise for the future volunteers when they are coming here. And just be respectful and adaptive also to the situations, that this is what he was saying, like being flexible. I would say like more adaptive to different circumstances.
From my point, it's very hard to talk. I mean, sometimes, especially when you live with people, and also as humans, I think we assume a lot. Like we assume you should get, like that's not okay. But in some cultures, something what is not okay for me, okay for these people, or vice versa. So I think talking about different subjects in the apartment is very important. It's extremely hard at the same time because you need to openly share what is valuable for you, and at the same time find this balance somehow and like meet with another person somewhere in the middle, because I don't know, yes, it's extremely important to give the space to pray 5 times a day, but there might be other things that for you as, I don't know, a person of different religion are also not acceptable. So that's the matter of really talking from my point.
You were saying like talking, I would say yes, the communication gap should not be there. And if you are facing some challenges which are very crucial, then you have, on every Monday we used to have an organizational meeting somewhere in the park or in the office. Then I think it is a good way to communicate regarding your challenges you are facing in your apartment or some related to the project or stuff. So yeah, it's a good way to communicate with the organization as well regarding what are you facing.
Which skills do you think you got from this project that you can use for future self? Maybe there was something that you managed to develop, or inner confidence, or maybe some professional skills that you think can help you, I don't know, in your future studies or just living abroad.
Yeah, I would say I have learned a lot generally during this project and just during my stay here in Craiova. First of all, the technical skills, gardening skills. I didn't have a prior experience with gardening per se. I have experience with farming and because back at home we have farms and we farm, so I knew a little bit about digging and the likes and planting and whatnot, but not really gardening. So this was like a first-hand experience, in gardening, and I think I know a thing or two about gardening, a thing or two about using some tools that are used in gardening, and that was really, really amazing. Apart from that, the soft skills, as Kashaaf had said, and I think as we have discussed previously, the intercultural skills. So like learning how to work, first of all, in a team and in a diverse team, and learning how to interact and connect with people from different cultures, people from different backgrounds, different religions, and working together. And also conflict resolution. So whenever you have any conflicts, especially in a diverse team, then how do you handle it? That has also been a big learning point. And personally, I think just developing also that confidence to go abroad, and live in a new country and work on like a project that I have never worked on before has been, also like a life-changing experience for me, and like a skill that I have developed, and I even have more confidence, to even sign up for another project and do it.
Yeah, that's a great thing. I believe, this confidence of, okay, I participated and think once, and then I can explore more, I don't know, youth exchanges, training, Erasmus Plus. Yeah.
So gardening skills, he's right, because I didn't have the experience of gardening in that much, on an intense level. So that is some skill which I have learned from this project. But sarcastically, when we were coating the benches in the park, in the
Coloring.
garden, the coating, the painting
coating.
stuff, you can say, to protect the bench from the sunlight. So
Wow, I had no clue.
that is a skill I actually have learned in this project, and from the persons who were working there in the detention center. So I was quoting this like this, and one of the persons from the penitentiary, he came to me and he took the paintbrush from my hand and said that I can teach you. I said okay, and he was doing it in a very finished and smooth way. He taught me how to do it, and this is something which I have learned, how to coat the benches. And regarding the interpersonal skills, I would definitely say the networking skills, to interact with people from different cultures, because I have seen people in these kind of Erasmus or European Solidarity Corps project who come from their home country or from their living country, and then they just remain in their own silos and they do not interact with someone, or I won't say they are introvert, but they like to be more in their own silos. If there is someone from my own home country, I'm going to talk with him or her. So this networking skill, this project, I have learned from this project, you have to network with every other persons from different cultures. So it gives you a sort of confidence. It builds up confidence inside yourself as well. It's very important skill.
But also coming to your personal experience, did you have a chance to explore Romania a bit, or what did you find out about this country? Why are you laughing? You've been here 2 months.
Okay.
I remember yesterday when we had a barbecue and we were going back home, and the project coordinator, who was telling us that...
We can mention it was
Valentin,
our colleague, yes.
Valentin, we love you.
Special message.
Yeah, and I remember he was like, I am so mad at you people. And we were thinking maybe we didn't do a good job, or there's something that we, some of his expectations that were not met. And we thought maybe he's going to talk about that. But then he ended up saying, it's because you have not really traveled. You have been here for 2 months and you have not really explored, Romania. And we have had a lot of plans, since the beginning, Brasov, Constanza, but it just remained plans. But I have to say that personally, I feel like we could have done much better, but I am at least happy and content with myself because I got to go to 2 places. So that was Ranka, which is really, really beautiful and amazing, and Sibiu,
Yes.
which is like an ancient city, and it's also really, really beautiful, and I really, really loved it. I think that we could have done more, but the two that I experienced is enough, at least for now, and hopefully that gives me like an opportunity to come back to Romania so that I can explore other parts.
Unpopular opinion, but I would say for me, Romania was like a country of museums. You know, we visited a lot of museums in this 2 month tenure. So yeah,
The
beautiful
person
and
coming
stunning.
from Italy is saying to us, I'm very sorry. Okay, that's
Because, you know,
unpopular opinion.
because we visited a lot of museums rather than other places, you know. And then comes to the park. I mean, I just love the Romanesque park here. It's very, very beautiful. So yeah, and we had to mention one more place, that is the Silent Garden here.
Of course.
On every weekend we used to just go there and veg out for like hours and hours, and it's such a lovely place.
Just in case for our listeners not from Craiova, Silent Garden, I will call it a social space. Yeah, you can come there like from 6 probably in the evening until later on, and just actually meet nice people from the city. And this space, it is the garden also, and you have just chairs and tables there, and you can hang out. And probably for the big group as you were, it was the perfect place to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to mention, I just bought the Romanian traditional shirt for myself, so that is very beautiful. You know, when I'm going back to Italy, I'm definitely wearing it and like showing it to everyone. Like I bought it from Romania. It's actually a traditional shirt from Romania.
Yeah.
So.
Kashaaf been asking a lot, all of us, like where can I get it, and we gave a
finally.
couple of directions. Yay! Congrats, big congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think it's time to move to the second part that we presented in the beginning, some insight on ecology that what you're practicing in your life and what you might recommend to those who are not close to the topic. Like what is those day-to-day practices that we can all implement in our life to make our life more ecologically friendly, let's say.
So when I started studying the circular economy, you know, I would mention here a fun thing actually. I took out my plastic water bottle inside the classroom and I started drinking water. And when I saw like the professors who are looking at me like, why I'm using this plastic bottle, that was kind of weird. So from that day afterwards, I switched off to a steel water bottle. And one thing now I'm doing it for sure is that I just reuse the plastic bags when I go to the supermarkets to buy the grocery or stuff. Not like buying every single time a new plastic bag. So this is something which I actually do in my personal life, and I would recommend everyone to like just start reusing the bags and just get rid of the plastic stuff. It's destroying your environment at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to add on that, I would say other simple things. For example, like conserving energy, conserving water.
Yeah.
So trying to use like energy efficient appliances, energy efficient methods when you are doing something at home. Whenever you are not like using energy, whenever you're not using light, turn it off. During the day, turn it off. Whenever you're not using water, turn off the taps, and also like use it sparingly. Simple things like walking or cycling, for short distances instead of driving if you have a car. Yeah, I think those are some of the little things, that we can do. And just also to add something else, and I think this is also because it's a big thing in Kenya that I've observed. I think the Europeans are doing really well. It's waste disposal. Like most European cities that I've visited are really clean. They really know how to manage their wastes, and it's because the leaders, the government, like have made it a priority to have like waste disposal bins like throughout the city, which is something different from like Kenya, for example. And also, even as you are disposing wastes and ensuring that you are not like littering aimlessly, also like just trying to make an effort to dispose waste properly. So like in the correct bin. So if it's like plastic, in the plastic bin, if it is glass, in the glass bin, because that also helps with the recycling and the proper disposal of those wastes.
And also, I would like to add, if you see everywhere, we have all the advanced infrastructure and buildings, and we don't have we almost have reduced the ratio of trees and greenery in the cities, especially if you see the modern cities like New York or stuff like that. So it's all deforested, and everywhere it's the huge buildings and infrastructure. So it's very important to plant a tree, to do the gardening stuff as well, because it serves as a carbon sequestration. It's actually a carbon offset. Planting a tree is a carbon offsetting thing. So this project, the main project which was inside the penitentiary regarding creating a therapeutic garden, I think the core focus was also on this, on carbon sequestration, on carbon offsetting, to plant a tree because it serves as a carbon sink. And it's a good thing to have cooling down your environment, because climate is changing and global warming is accelerating a lot. So it's important to plant even a seed in your home, which can turn into a tree a few years later.
I really like that this garden is therapeutic, and the whole concept of, conscious spending time in the park or the forest near the greenery, because that's issue that I also face, maybe not so much people from the penitentiary who don't have access to phones, but for people in the cities who are having their computers, phones all the time with us, having just, switching off the mind and just walking around, it seems for me also a very important practice of just how you spend time with nature. And in my point, it's also this consciousness, on mindfulness. I don't know, it's just a big word sometimes that are misunderstood. But for me, they're also connected to ecology, because it's about the way how we treat the planet.
And you know what science says? Science says that it's actually 2 degrees lower when you go to the roads which have the parks and trees. So it's very good for reducing this global warming stuff, the trees and gardening, the parks and all. It reduces the overall temperature of your city or your area.
Guys, I would like to thank you for your insights, and I think it's time to move to the Blitz round with the very quick answers. It can be 1 word or it can be 1 sentence. Okay. 1 word to describe your volunteering experience in general, in 1 word.
Okay. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That means super amazing.
Transformative.
Okay. I think you'll continue doing after the project ends.
I think to transfer the knowledge we have gained through this project to the other people, especially students in my university. They need to consider projects like this, because most of the students, they are not actually aware that these kind of projects actually exist. So I will transfer this knowledge to the other students in my university and in my community.
That's a very important thing to do, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much similar to what Kashaaf said. Basically, continuing to go for green. No pun intended. And being a green champion, continuing to spread awareness about what I have learned, what I have done, and I have been doing it, being in the project, because I've been talking to people, and I'm just going to continue with it afterwards.
Yeah. 1 tip for someone considering short-term volunteering abroad. Just 1 small tip.
As Nike said, just do it.
Just do it.
Okay, we all agreed that you should just do it. Okay. Thank you very much for coming and joining this podcast today. That was a lovely conversation. And please, our followers and subscribers, also repost, share with friends, make them subscribe to share the ecological practices with others. It will be very important for us. The final words from you, maybe something that you want to tell to our audience?
I would like to thank you, first of all, for having us in this podcast, because this was something I actually wanted to do since the beginning of this project, and finally it happened before this project ended. And I would also say it to everyone, like as Nick was saying, there should be from planning to execution stage, it should be like you have to just do it. Don't just think about it. If you want to travel somewhere, just travel. Just don't think about the consequences that are going to be held in future. So at the end of the day, just do it and just don't care about other stuff.
So first of all, as Kashaaf has said, I also would love to thank you so much for this opportunity. I have never imagined being in a podcast or recording a podcast, so this was a new experience for me, and I am really, really grateful. And I also want to thank the entire Anter team for this opportunity to be here in Craiova, to volunteer, and to be part of this amazing project. And one thing, or some things that I can tell the listeners is, yes, like be proactive, get out of your comfort zone, and just go out and experience life. Get out of your phones. Get out of your house. Get out of Netflix and go out. That is where like life is. Sign up for like the ESC project and try it out, and you might end up liking it.
Because if not here, then where? If not now, then when? If not you, then who?
Bravo. Guys, thank you very much. See you next time to unlock the new topic. Bye.